Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to a new video today on In the Stars. So today's video I'm going to be talking about Gemini Sun Sign, y'all. Alright? So let's get into the video. So first and foremost, if you're watching this video in Gemini season, I want to say happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. You know, go out there, do what you do, whatever it is that you do to have or bring in your birthday. So I just wanted to say happy birthday from me to you, you know. So let's get into the video. Alright, so Geminis. Geminis are the third sign of the astrological or the astrological wheel, should I say. They come at the end of the springtime. So what is that? Late May, early June is Gemini. Geminis are air sign, which means, you know, that they can be flighty. Some of the qualities for air is flighty, intellect, go with the flow or go with the wind type of thing, or airheadish. You know, all of these things resonate with air signs. Air signs are usually highly intellectual, highly communicative, but can also be a little bit of airheadish or ditzy sometimes. Not to mean that they're dumb, because they're not dumb or stupid or anything like that. It just means that they can seem a little bit naive or seem a little bit, like I said, airheadish sometimes in their ways. So that's some of the qualities of air signs. They're also a mutable sign. Mutable signs are all signs that come at the end of seasons. As I just said, Geminis come at the end of the spring season. So the Geminis or mutable signs are about changeability, adaptability, transformation, things like that. Anything that has to do with change, because they're changing the season and they're also adapting to other seasons as well. So that's some of the qualities or some of the influences of mutable signs. Now, with Geminis being the third sign of the zodiac, they also resonate with the third house. The third house rules the mind, rules intellect, rules communication. So now I don't know if you all are familiar with zodiac signs as is, or Geminis as is, shall I say. I'm sure you're familiar with zodiac signs, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with Geminis. So Geminis, if you are familiar with some of the characteristics that people say Geminis have, this is why Geminis tend to seem to be very highly intellectual, tend to also seem to be very highly communicative, because not only are they ruling planet is Mercury, which is a intellectual, communicative planet energy, and not only is they are also an air sign, which also symbolizes communication, intelligence, and they also have that third house influence, which is the same thing, communication, intellect. You get what I'm saying? So this is why if you look at some famous Gemini people, or look at Gemini people you may know, they tend to usually be very, very sociable people, very intellectual people. And not to say that they're going to know how to build a rocket or make a robot from scratch or anything like that, but they have a sharp mind. They have a very intellectual mind. They can communicate with you on things of deep knowledge, of deep understanding, of more on an intellectual basis of things. They have a wide view of many different things, you know. So these are some of the different qualities that Gemini has based on the combination of those things. So this is also an indication of why Gemini represents duality, and this is another indication of that is that they want to spread their minds, or they want to spread those airy messages all over the place. They want to be in more than one place at once. They love to do more than one thing. They love to focus on multiple things in multiple different times. This allows them to have very high energy because they want to blow that energy all over the place. Another thing that Geminis are known to be flaky sometimes. You sometimes hear people saying like Geminis jump back and forth, or they're flaky, or sometimes people even call them two-faced and things like that. The reason being is because Geminis, first off, they're a mutable sign, which is an energy of changeability. Second, they're air sign. You see, the air sign is well can be about change. It's because the air. What is air? Air is all over the place. It can be in one place in 1 second and another place another second, depending on the type of air it is. And so with these Geminis being mutable air, which is changeable air, then that means they can at 1 minute be like a small little breeze. You know how some days you're walking outside and you might feel a little cool breeze, and then you feel that big gust of wind. This is the type of air that Gemini has, or the type of influence, or a good example of an influence is that how Gemini are perceived, or how they can be, so to speak. They can be high tempered, you know. They can change in mid conversation, or they can change how they communicate. They can change their perception of things. Or they can change their intellect. They might say, sometimes a Gemini might say one thing one day and they can say something else another day. But both of them, if no matter when or what they say, will come across as, wow, that was very deep, or that sounds very profound, you know. And so Geminis have that ability to do those things, and they will, and this can cause confusion within themselves. They might because they can go back and forth so much, and it can allow them to not be grounded, so to speak, like an earth sign. They can, like I said, more of that air, jumping back and forth, especially with that mutable influences. This just allows them to move around much in their communication or in their intellect. So with that being said, Geminis are very intellectual, very communicative, like to spread their energy, so very energetic. But this can also, keep in mind, when you're thinking about, like I said, when you're thinking about things, when I'm saying things, also think about the dual opposite of those things. So think about duality, which Geminis pretty much represent. So the dual side of that is they might spread themselves thin because they're spreading their energy in too many different places. So this can allow them not to focus on or be completely engaged in one thing. So it's like they're not strengthening the thing what they should focus on because they're too busy trying to jump into multiple things at once, or too busy changing their minds. This can allow them, like I said, this also allows them to be very high-tempered because they can feel or feeling very like know-it-alls because they know that they are very intelligent, and this can also lead to them being very debative about things, or very argumentative because they want to because they feel like like I said, they feel like they know what's best. They know more than you, so to speak. Like you can't tell me what I know. That type of attitude sometimes, if they're not willing to listen, if their energy isn't balanced. So I'm trying to think anything else that I'm trying to pick up from that Gemini energy. So this can also, like I said, this is why some people can also see them as flip-floppy or even being snakes, quote unquote, or even being non-trustworthy, should I say, is because the unbalanced Gemini can possibly change their mind. Today you might be their friend, tomorrow they might change their mind. You get what I'm saying? Or you might be their friend for that minute, and then in the next minute they might change their mind. They might have a different perception of you because see, they're also that means they're also very great analyzers. They're going to analyze things. They're going to think things out, and whenever thinking is a strength of something, or whenever someone has a strength, there's always, like I said, there's always a dual side to that. So someone who's a thinker, like in that way, can also become an overthinker, if you will, or even an underthinker sometimes, because an underthinker is somebody who automatically thinks that they know everything, so they get lazy in their way of thinking and just do it without thinking it out thoroughly, right? An overthinker is someone who is unsure, so they have to continuously try to analyze the situation, or continuously analyze or think about what should be done. So this allows them to keep replaying and in time they're losing time in that sense. So so that's some of the traits and characteristics of Sun Sign Gemini. Now let's talk about the polar opposite of Gemini would be a Sagittarius. The part of the body that rules Gemini, their arms, shoulders, hands, and lungs. So keep in mind, always when I tell you the part of the body that rules you, always keep in mind, keep a high or concentrate a good diet to that part of your body, because that's also the, like I said, dual side. That's your strength, but that's also where you're more prone to being weak at as well, or can suffer injury or sickness in those areas as well, should I say. Their lucky crystal is agate. Their lucky numbers are 5 and 9. Their lucky day of the week is Wednesday. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about what careers will be best suited for Geminis. Best suited careers for Geminis is obvious. It's going to be something in the field of anything in the field where they can communicate, anything in the field where they can use their voice, or even use their minds, use their intellect. Like a laborer's type of job wouldn't best suit them unless it was something like unless it was something where they can, like I said, where they can use their brain to do that. But you know, a job where they feel like they're not using that thought capacity that they have is going to bore them. So any type of career or job in those types of fields are best suited for Gemini. And most compatible with Geminis are other air signs, because they can communicate on that, you know, on that intellectual level, or they can have very good conversations with one another if they don't tend to allow it to turn into many arguments or many debates, which sometimes those can be good. Sometimes that can help build relationships, because sometimes those signs will like to debate one another, will like to not argue, but like to pick each other's brains apart and things like that. And also other signs that are good fits for Geminis are fire signs, because of that high energy and high passion for things. Those fire signs can be intrigued by their high energy, you know, or Gemini can be intrigued by those fire signs' high energy and high passion for things as well. So that was it for today's video on Gemini Sun Signs. I hope you guys liked the video. As always, if you did, press the like button, click the subscribe button if you want to stay in tune for future videos. Click the description box if you want to follow me on my social medias. Click in the comment box or section down below if you want to say anything about this video, if you just want to express yourself in a communicative, intellectual kind of way, or not. But anyway, thank you for your time as always, and until next time, y'all, peace and love.